even if Triple Whale was more accurate to a degree, um, and you go with that decision, if Facebook can't see that decision, how does that play out in the long term? Is it just sort of short-term
Mm.
day trading? Or do you have a
Yeah.
view on sort of, I know he's very vocal on that. Do you have a view on his opinion?
It's a really good point. So one thing I will say before I go into that is the one thing that's nice about the tools is maybe it provides some consistency across channels that aren't speaking to each other, right? Like Google versus Facebook versus Snapchat versus TikTok. Like maybe that gives you some layer of, okay, it's tracking things in roughly the same way using but so does GA potentially. So there's the caveat there. So to your point, James, what you're saying and the question around, if Facebook can't see it, or they can't make decisions, I found that to be not as big of an issue in most cases, right? Like if you have a decent amount of spend, we're talking a couple $1,000s, even hundreds of dollars. Usually the discrepancy between what Facebook is reporting and Triple Whale is reporting on a click basis isn't that significant in most cases. So we're not making ad decisions. We're not turning off an ad in most cases because there's Triple Whale looks terrible, but Facebook looks great. Now, in cases of like higher AOV clients where that one purchase makes a huge difference on ROAS because they got a $400 purchase, that gets a little bit weirder. And I think it makes there's a really good point to be made that, yeah, Facebook can't make decisions with information that they don't have. So I think it's a fair point. Um, but I think there's also a point to be said that if you feel that, if you are using your internal metrics and you're using Northbeam or Triple Whale reported ROAS on a platform basis mapped against AMER, and you're coaching the platform down that direction, like I think every once in a while they're going to be off. But if you keep spending against an ad and it's working amazing in Triple Whale, but it looks terrible on Facebook, eventually Facebook's going to figure that out. It's probably a couple here and there that I think miss. Maybe the model data was slightly off. I don't I think there's both points are valid. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm kind of going back and forth on my opinion, but um, I
No, definitely. That
haven't
makes
seen a
sense.
huge discrepancy in many cases when you start to get to decent scale.
I think there is merit to what Taylor says, but that's not how Facebook works. You switching off a campaign or increasing or decreasing its budget is not necessarily such a strong signal for Facebook. I mean, it is. Budget is a signal, but it's not the main signal. Based on your budget, Facebook is not going to start matching different people. It's not the case that if you're spending $100 a day on a campaign, and then you switch it off, Facebook's going to think that, oh, I need to re-optimize the account. That's just not how it works. So you externally making decisions on a campaign, there can be many reasons for it. Maybe your items went out of stock, right? Maybe it's a seasonal item. Maybe it was for Valentine's Day and Valentine's Day is over, right? It's an occasion specific thing. I disagree with Taylor there completely and entirely. And in two things. One of the arguments that Taylor makes is past performance is not indicative of future performance, so you shouldn't manage budget. I think that's entirely incorrect. It is the past performance that is dictating who Facebook is going to show the ad to. And in fact, in his other videos about ads, Taylor actually talks about Facebook is seeing more data than you. That is past data. If there is data that Facebook is seeing, that's my past interaction with the brand, with the creative, with overall your presence. It could be organic, it could be paid. I think externally managing budget has no impact on how Facebook is going to optimize your campaign. So I don't think actually Taylor is correct there. I do believe there is less and less value in over managing the budget. I think if you look at his overall, the spirit of his point is don't interfere too much with Facebook. That part I agree. But I think Brett, you asked the same question in our presentation that day. It's a little bit more involved topic, but the fact is, Facebook is not looking at anything that you're doing with your budgets because there are like 20 different reasons why you are managing your budget. Performance is just one of them, right? Um, and what I am looking at day to day, it's our first party pixel and Facebook's in attribute is pretty much parallel, right? For some accounts, Facebook is over reporting. For some accounts, Facebook is under reporting. But there is a fairly consistent delta between external third party pixel based management and in platform reporting. One of the things that I think we've already discussed is the view based attribution. I think that one is always tricky. and I am in strong favor of excluding that from all decision considerations, simply because anybody who's at any touch point with the brand, Facebook is likely to show them the ad. It may or may not have had any impact on it.